Hi, welcome to our channel. I'm Mothleen.
And I'm Berlinda. So, our topic today is a father's perspective of his adult child with autism. So, today we do have a guest speaker. It's actually my cousin, John. And so, John, we're so happy that you come to join us today to tell us your story and your journey. We really do appreciate you coming today. We really
Yes,
do. All
John.
right.
Well, thank you, ladies. I thank you, and I thank you for, you both of you taking this opportunity on a regular basis to make everyone aware and with the different aspects of children on the spectrum, and also with parents. And I really commend you guys for doing a wonderful job with that. And I'm actually very flattered to be able to speak with you today and to help bring some insights to others. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, John, what we're going to do is we're just going to ask you a series of questions. So, the first question is, so what were the signs or the symptoms that your child exhibited that led you to believe that he may have autism?
Well, in our case, it was almost the signs that he didn't have that led us to actually to see that things were a little bit different. Um, being that that was my first child, everything seemed normal in the beginning. He began to crawl. He took normal steps, and and he even started to respond, appropriately to any questions or demands as a small toddler. And I would believe that even though that we kind of did see things that are different with his manner of play, we kind of put it all to the side, thinking that this is something that's maybe just a slower development because, boys develop slower than,
Mm.
Yeah.
women or girls. Um, and we didn't really think that there was anything of note to be concerned until he started to go into pre-K and be around other children. So, but we worked different schedules, so he never had to be in, he didn't have to be in daycare. So it wasn't until he wasn't around other kids in a preschool environment or pre-K environment where they noticed that he would be isolated to himself, and then when other kids would approach, he would batter other children, because he didn't have that social component with everyone
Mhm.
else, and he more related with adults rather than with children.
Mhm.
Um,
Okay.
yeah.
Wow.
And so when they noticed the differences, we didn't notice them because that was our first son. So we didn't have that wherewithal to say there's something strange with what's going on, even though he would
Right.
flip cars upside down and play with them mechanically rather than to play with the cars like they're driving. He
Okay.
imitated things that he wanted, but not necessarily things that other children did. So, because he never had that amount of play aspect when he was younger, because he was around his adults all the time. So we didn't. It was hard for us to diagnose on our own. But after he was in there, and we put him in a Head Start program, and then also we got a little bit more analysis, and then they really didn't give him a direct um, diagnosis of autism. It just was considered that he had a developmental delay. I
Mm.
think that the medical dictionary at that time wasn't even diagnosing Asperger's, which was he was very close to because he's very high functioning. So in short,
Mhm.
that's kind of how we
I
kind of
see.
figured out from that point is his reaction with other children.
Got
Okay.
you. Okay. And what was basically your reaction to the diagnosis when you first heard that he had autism?
It was revealing. I mean, the first reaction was like, well, we were always glad that he had all his fingers and toes, uh, and there weren't any serious health conditions he had. So when we were hearing that he had a what they call a developmental disorder, I immediately you're wondering, well, to what degree is this going to escalate for him, or how is it going to be with him? Already, we're seeing how he reacts to other children by hitting them. So, we had no clue as to where it was going to, where it would end up. So it was, you felt alone, and
Mm,
not knowing exactly what you should do, because even if um he was seeing many doctors and many neurologists, there wasn't much at that time for us to grasp onto to kind of determine what we should do next.
mm,
Plus, we work different schedules, so we were almost single parents, doing that, and living in that situation. And then a year after that, his brother was born, and then that's when we really saw the difference because he was typical, and
Mhm.
mhm,
and then you had, you know, then you had less time to be able to devote to assisting him in finding his needs because you had to take care of another child, which made it a little bit more difficult.
Mhm.
mhm. Wow. Oh, so you mentioned so because of the time that he was born, so at that time they didn't have as many interventions as they do today. Is that what you're saying?
I just think we weren't equipped to like look into those things.
I
I
see.
think
Mhm,
because and I can only imagine how it would be for a single parent without any type of support nowadays in this society, how they would manage. Actually, I kind of do encounter that a lot in my profession, and I see many parents that have that issue, or single parents, and um, they don't actually know where to go because they are so busy trying to take care of their child in regular life that they don't
mhm.
know what to do next. Um, so I believe your question was, and I got
So
off
so
track.
you're saying so because you were saying at that time you didn't really know how to
Right.
support or help
Like
him.
intervention,
Yeah.
like
Right. Yeah, like
kind of therapy and
I'm sure it
support.
I'm sure that the information there was there available. I mean, I signed up for a UMNSU card, which is the local um, you know, how can I say that, assistance level based type of organization here for special needs children. And and I got some information online, but mostly we just followed the guidance through the school system and
Mhm,
trying to mainstream him through school, or if that wasn't working, then to try and have him in a cluster environment of learning and trying to reinforce those things at home. Uh, with our different schedules and still trying
mhm,
to include him in regular environments on a regular basis. So I don't think we did because our son never had any ABA therapy because it's not like he was severely
Right.
non-functioning. He
Mm-hmm.
was very high functioning. He learned how to, use the potty, he used the
Right.
bathroom,
Mm-hmm.
he dressed himself. It just was the communication and
Social aspect.
inferences and
Yeah.
social aspect
Mm-hmm.
that was definitely that was a deficit.
okay.
Gotcha.
All right. So, what are some of the challenges? Because I know as a parent, it's already hard, but what are some of the challenges that you, as a caregiver of an adult child, face? What are some of the challenges that?
As an adult child, I think it's still the same as almost, I don't want to say it's the same, but it's the it's the um it's the question of whether or not your child uh is going to perform in life as an adult after
Mm-hmm.
you have left this earth.
Mm,
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
and and you're always wondering how your child is going to relate with others, uh if if he's going to achieve the goals that he wants to have, of being independent.
mhm,
Um, but still more so nowadays, the things that are challenging are like wondering what's going to happen for a long time. And you know I it's been a concern of me wanting him to drive, even though he's
mm,
in the age of 26 right now. He's an adult, but still, if with
Mm-hmm.
a child with on the spectrum has uh, meltdowns at times. And
Right.
that's
yeah.
one thing you
Yeah.
don't want to be driving
Mm-hmm.
at the wheel and no one understands, the police officer understand what's going on,
Right.
and then there's an incident. So, but however, those challenges also provide um, they provide a silver lining because being he has that condition, he's also been almost like a savant. And he understood that, yes, he didn't want to drive as well because he didn't want to be caught in that situation. But also he learned the public transportation system
Oh,
within a drop of a dime. And he knows exactly where to go, exactly
Nice.
when to take it, when to take a bus, and he's comfortable taking the bus wherever he has to go. He schedules his own meetups, and nowadays, and he meets with other kids on or adults on the spectrum. He's been an artist and has the different art shows, and he's expanding to do more of that. And he's always trying to involve himself more, socially on his own terms, being independent.
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
So, I mean, those challenges, they are there, but they're never anything um, that would, deter us from allowing him to be more independent. I
Mm-hmm.
would also say that the challenges are, being um, that he's a parent, he's a child of divorced parents, is going through that challenge. But the
Mm-hmm.
thing is that they always need to go through that challenge because they have to, life is going to hit them in the face. So they
Yes.
need
Right.
to be able to deal with those situations regardless because,
Yep.
it's everything's going to happen, just like it happened in school. We had those
Right.
challenges all through high school, dealing with other kids that don't understand, teachers or deans or principals that don't even understand situations, and they have to react according to their protocol, but
Mm-hmm.
they can't really be as um, lenient because they have other parents to deal with who are also affected by your child's behavior.
Right.
So what can you do? And life is life, and you have to, pick up the balls where they fall, and then the rocks as they fall, and then
That's
and
it.
build other things around that to make better fortresses for your child's life.
Right.
And that's
Mm-hmm.
what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And then lastly, what advice can you give to parents with adult children with autism?
Well, I still would advise it seems like it's counterintuitive, but to still think of your adult child as still a child in a sense,
Mm.
just to help you get over um, the expectations that they have, that they are a certain age and they should be doing certain things by that time. Uh, and that it's different because different children are different on the spectrum. They have different capabilities and abilities. It's the same word, sorry, but they have they have different aspects about themselves that can make them that make them more of an adult and more able to do different things. But uh, usually, if you understand that that all of us are still children at heart, and it allows you to be a little bit more forgiving of the reactions that they have with their with their condition. Um, I would just advise parents, to always not to expect, super great things, but at the same time prepare them to be great and to never stop the discipline that you have to give. Um, I just and I don't know why it took me so long, but I just finally saw the film of Temple Grandin
Oh,
not
okay.
too long ago, and and I think she was born maybe in like the 60s or something like that. And
Yes.
Mm,
if you know the story about her,
Yeah.
and you still see that, her mother was still very disciplined with her, and she reiterated that when she became very successful to a group of people, and how much that she appreciated the fact that she wasn't kept from society and she wasn't blocked from that, and it helped her to grow. And I think that for the most part, her parents didn't really believe that she understood all that. And that would be the second
Mm.
part that I would say is never underestimate the potential of your child that's on the spectrum, of how much that they are aware of what's going
mm,
That's
on.
true.
yeah.
Not to be, I wrote this down. So Um,
Mm.
it's not just to be just not underestimate their awareness, but also to understand that they have much similarities to us. For me, I always tell myself, I'm like, I go to my son, I tell him that this is one thing you shouldn't do. I know that you're having this feeling or this reaction because of the stimulus, but you have to control how you react,
Mhm.
But then if I look back at myself, I'm like, well, wait a minute, I do the exact same thing sometimes, and it may not be as heightened as severe, but I still do it. And I'm like, whoa,
Right.
Right.
Mhm.
you can't be the pot calling the kettle black, but then
Right.
Right.
telling them that, hey, that they can't do this, but you do that. Some of the things
Right.
that they do, we still do as adults,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
understand that's essentially what they are, is that they are adults. They just have a different um, or a heightened sense of feeling things or reacting to them. And obviously it's going to be more difficult. If I had uh, uh, in a physical or mental um, uh,
Condition.
condition. I hate saying condition, that's why I don't say it. But
Yeah, I
like,
know.
but if you have a situation where it's holding you back from actually, doing something that you want to do, then obviously you're going to have a whole lot of bent up uh, frustration that's going to come out as a
Right.
result of it, you know.
Mhm.
Um, and that's probably how they react. And
Right.
and also is that for our parents is to never stop looking into different different types of remedies, different talking to other people that are on this have parents that are parents on the spectrum, or even children that are on the spectrum, to see how much you can learn.
Right.
Uh,
That's true. Mhm.
that's what I love about nowadays, is that I'm able to share with many other people just within my own work environment that have children on the spectrum. And when they hear about, the things that I go through or have went through, especially if the children are younger, they're very much enlightened, and they take that information with great respect and with helpfulness.
Right. Thank you
Thank you
so
so much,
much for
John.
coming and for sharing your story and sharing your journey. It's so much appreciated. You're helping so many other people going through
Yes,
the same journey. So we appreciate you coming. So, guys, please feel free to like, share, subscribe
to our
to our
channel.
channel. We hope to see you next time. Have a great one.
Okay. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, and thank you all, ladies.
All right.
Take care.
Bye.